This is a recording of the International English Language Testing System taking place on Tuesday, 22nd of November at Medcity International Academy, Kannur. The candidate is Yulia HenvyChacko and the candidate number is 3645. The examiner is Sangeeta Gopi and the examiner number is 8946. The center number is 8992. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam.
May I know your full name, please?
My name is Yulia HenvyChacko.
All right. And where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Do you work or are you a student?
I am both. I am a student and I work at present moment.
Can I see your identification card, please?
For sure, madam.
Right. Right. Thank you. So let's move on to the first part of speaking. I'm going to ask you questions on certain topics. And the first topic that I'd like to talk to you about is places where people like to meet friends. Where do you like to go to meet your friends?
Oh, madam, certainly outdoors. Since I'm working a lot and I normally work online from home. My second degree I am approaching also from home. It is online studying. That's why when I want to meet my friends, I would definitely prefer to go somewhere in the park or meet in a cafe and then walk around the city.
All right. And why are some places better than others for meeting friends?
Well, in my personal opinion, it is related to on a person actually, on their preferences. Some of the places are better because they are calm and people can speak and communicate, but other places might be better because they provide various type of activities. So it depends all on preferences. Other places might be good to provide meals, delicious meals to share with.
Right. Do you prefer to meet just one friend or would you like to meet a group of friends?
I am a bit of introvert. That's why I personally would prefer to meet in person, since I like quality communication. I would share my ideas and I want to pay my full attention to a person rather than dividing it.
Have the types of places where friends like to meet these days changed since you were younger?
I think that these days people are used to going to different malls, which was not very typical in the past. Because malls can provide various type of activities from shopping to TV, cinema.
Right. Moving on to personal talents. What sort of things do you think you're good at?
It's a very painful question for me, since I have been thinking that I have no talents because I'm not very good at art. But later on I understood that I'm good at studying and this is my strong side. I'm really drawn to studying and I love to study new languages and new subjects.
That's great. And do you have the same talents? Like you said, studying new languages, learning new things is a talent that you have. So does anyone else in your family have the same talent?
I think so, definitely. My mother, she has so many talents, but she is good at knitting and sewing. She's doing yoga. She's a doctor. Yeah, so I think my mother is a role model.
All right. Is there a talent you already have that you would like to improve in the future?
I think it is also yoga and to a certain extent different languages. I would like to learn more languages and I would like to improve myself in terms of self-development and yoga.
Do you think you'll use your talents in a future job?
I think so, definitely. Learning new languages can provide broader opportunities.
Right. Great.
Medcity IELTS app, a complete learning solution. IELTS listening, reading, writing and speaking module lessons with grammar classes and free practice materials. Get over 50 hours of video lessons. Download Medcity IELTS app now. Available on Android and iOS platforms.
All right, so I'm going to move on to one more topic, and that's advertisements. Do you often remember advertisements or commercials that you've seen?
I try not to. I'm not a big fan of advertisement, especially so-called cold calls or billboards. It's they are hitting my eyes, and it's not very pleasant. However, sometimes I enjoy advertisement on a TV. It can be really creative, and sometimes I can remember something, but I haven't watched TV for a couple of years, so.
All right. Have you ever seen an advertisement or a commercial that you really didn't like?
Hard to say. I don't remember that I had some strong feelings against advertisement. I normally do not notice them. Especially on the internet, it is possible now to use special apps that block advertisement as ad block.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you like to be in an advertisement or a commercial one day?
I don't think so. I'm not good at this, and I think it is very essential skill. But I would ask somebody to promote me if I need
All right.
this.
So, Yulia, that's the end of part one of speaking. We are moving on to the second part of speaking. So, I'm going to give you a prompt card. So, here is a pencil, and this is your card. You need to describe a situation when you had to spend a long time in a traffic jam. You have a minute's time to prepare. You can make notes if you wish to do so. I'll stop you when your time's up. So you can start your preparation now. Well, Yulia, that's the end of your preparation time. You now have 1 to 2 minutes to speak on the topic. Shall we begin?
Yes,
All
sure.
right.
So I need to tell about the time when I was stuck in a traffic jam, and to describe what I was doing there. Actually, it was about 4 years ago. I was going to a conference. It was in the capital of Ukraine, in Kiev. As a postgraduate student, I was about to participate in a scientific conference on pharmacy. However, I am originally from a small city, we could say a town, and I hadn't used to traffic jams at that time. And I couldn't predict that this situation might happen. That's why when I got in a traffic jam, I was pretty nervous at first. I was afraid that I would be late for a conference. However, I was trying to calm down. I was listening to music. I was repeating my speech. I was reading my speech written on a paper, and it helped me a bit. However, I end up well. I wasn't late for a conference, but it definitely caused anxious. It made me anxious to a certain extent.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that these days to be in a traffic jam is it's a very common occasion. Even now in my native place, I face this issue as well. But now I know what to do. I never get bored, and usually I have always earphones by my side to listen to a music or to different podcasts and to learn.
Well, thank you, Yulia. That's the end of your time. So, because you're far away from your home and you're in India, in Kannur to be specific, have you been in a traffic congestion here?
Specifically in Kannur, I haven't been to a traffic jam, since it is also not a a big city. It's not a cosmopolitan city. However, when I was in Delhi, I got it in a traffic jam, and it wasn't that pleasant.
Right, so let's move on to the last part of speaking. All right, I'll take back your card. We're going to discuss this topic further. So it's about traffic in cities and management and environment.
Medcity IELTS app, a complete learning solution. IELTS listening, reading, writing and speaking module lessons with grammar classes and free practice materials. Get over 50 hours of video lessons. Download Medcity IELTS app now. Available on Android and iOS platforms.
All right, so your first question. Are there specific times of the day when the traffic is heaviest in most cities?
Yes, definitely. There are some busy hours, especially at the beginning of the day, at around 9 o'clock, when everybody is rushing to work. And at the end of the day, of the working day, it is about 6 p.m. in my country, where when everybody is going back home.
Yeah, right.
And it is better to avoid this particular time because there are too many cars on the road.
All right, so you say basically the morning hours and the evening.
The evening hours.
Right. So can you compare being stuck in a traffic jam in a car and being stuck in a traffic jam in a bus?
Well, madam, there are certain advantages and disadvantages of both. I suppose that to be in a car can provide you a certain level of comfort. You can relax, turn on AC, listen to the music, and to be in a quiet atmosphere. Whereas in the bus, sometimes it's not possible, it is overcrowded. However, sometimes I would prefer to be in a bus because you have less responsibilities, and you can leave a bus anytime and to walk. However, if you are a driver, you should be always alert. You cannot leave your car anywhere, and you should be there.
Right. And do you think you have more opportunities probably to hit a conversation with someone in a bus? Because in a car you might be alone.
In my country, small talks are not that common.
All right.
I don't know why, but people mind their own business and they read or they listen to the music. It rarely happens that people really communicate. I think that older generations would rather communicate because they are not used to these modern technologies. I have had a couple of conversations with different elderly people.
All right. And do you think, I mean, if you look at the future, do you think traffic in cities will get worse?
Unfortunately, I think so. That the number of vehicles is dramatically increasing over the years, and I don't think that the trend will be positive.
All right. Do you think public transport can help reduce traffic congestion?
To a certain extent, yeah, because public transport can actually make a room for a larger amount of people.
Right.
And that's why it can.
And would you agree with me if I say traffic problems can only be solved by government action?
To a certain extent, yes, because if it is not regulated, if the problem is not regulated, people are not too conscious about it. I know that in my country, certain families have up to 3 cars. So each person have a personal vehicle, and I find it too much. So there are two sides. I think that it should be people should be educated that not to buy excessive number of cars, but there should be government measures. I believe for sure.
Right. Can you assess the impact of traffic on the environment?
I think that traffic is one of the main reasons of air pollution, of greenhouse effect. So it has a dramatical effect of environment.
Right. So is your country doing anything to reduce that?
As far as I know, in my country, there are certain laws that help to regulate the traffic, and also all the type of cars are not allowed, since they can damage the environment in
Right.
greater extent.
Do you think there should be higher taxes on larger cars?
It's a tricky one. I don't know. I'm not really aware. Perhaps, but I'm not sure. Do they produce more gas or not? Does it impact? I suppose it should impact. So perhaps they should do.
Do you think people will have to travel less in order to reduce global warming?
It is difficult these days. Modern world is globalized a lot.
Right.
We are more frequently using planes, and I don't think it is possible.
Right. Thank you, Yulia. That's the end of your speaking test. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
For more such exciting videos, download Medcity IELTS app.